We now have new surveillance video of a deadly carjacking in Hegewisch that left a 70-year-old woman dead.
Dane Placco got a chance to talk with some of her loved ones today. He is live with details on what they said. Dane?
That's right. 70-year-old Yvonne Ruzic was a fixture here in Hegewisch. For years, she'd worked the early morning shift at this deli you see behind me. And she was sitting in her car right about where you now see that memorial early this morning, waiting for her boss to unlock the door when she was killed.
She was a wonderful person. I never met nobody like her. She was caring and giving, and she'd do anything for anybody.
I want you to look at these people. And I want you to understand that LeBron James, Oprah Winfrey, Colin Kaepernick, bunch of black celebrities are telling you that these people have it better in America than even them because of the color of their skin. Now, I live in a town where this is what all the white people look like. You know, once you leave the democratically run cities and you go into the areas where there's homegrown white folk and not transplants, this is what the glacier gliders look like, man. Rough around the edges, cankles, flabby arms, drawn faces, just rough looking. Rough looking group, man. Rough looking, Jack. Tattoos, stretch marks, bad hairdos, lemons and bucket cars. Tennis shoes leaning, dilapidated houses, and they got to worry about son violence. You know they're raising food stamps and welfare, giving it a boost, biggest boost ever. So now's a good time to be on welfare and food stamps. And a lot of people don't know. Most of the people on welfare and food stamps look like this. And they got to worry about son violence. And if one of them defends themselves, it's going to be a long year or two for them before they're exonerated or whatever happens. They're going to be called a racist. They're going to be doxxed. Just sad, man. This is what most of the glacier gliders in this country look like, man. These people. Look around, man. What are you seeing? These people. And they got to worry about son violence.
She was a wonderful person. I never met nobody like her. She was caring and giving, and she'd do anything for anybody.
Boyfriend says 70-year-old Yvonne Ruzic was a retired streets and sanitation worker and grandmother of 3 who wanted to stay busy. And surveillance video now showing Ruzic parked in her car at 4:25 this morning, talking to her stepson in another car when 2 young men get out of a car behind her. In what appears to be a botched carjacking, they begin shooting in Ruzic's car as she speeds away. She was apparently hit and then lost control of the car a block south, striking a street pole.
And listen, they got to see these cats walking up out the rearview mirror. But one thing about it is you're told that using good judgment, using observations, using memory is racist. I'm sure she's looking over there into her stepson's car. They're talking. The rear view mirror is right there. The side view mirror is right there. She had to see these guys walking up in the side view mirror. But if she would have just sped off, she'd have said, "Speed off." Told her stepson, "Speed off." They'd have felt racist. So they stayed there. And I'm not saying these people are woke or liberals or whatever, but all people have to, are victims of this type of stuff. And what you need to know is that they'll kill you for resisting. But when they resist and they get killed, the whole city has to burn. Okay? They will shoot you if you pull off. They will shoot at you if you run. If they walk up on you to rob you and you run, they will shoot you in your back as you're running away. And then they'll run the other way. And you're not hearing about none of this on CNN or MSNBC.
In surveillance video now showing Rusich parked in her car at 4:25 this morning, talking to her stepson in another car when two young men get out of a car behind her. In what appears to be a botched carjacking, they begin shooting in Rusich's car as she speeds away. She was apparently hit and then lost control of the car a block south, striking a street pole. The gunman chased her down and shot her 5 more times before fleeing the scene. All day long, a steady stream of customers, family, and stunned Hegewisch residents have been leaving flowers in front of the deli. A handwritten sign in front reading, "If you use a gun to kill an innocent lady, you're a coward."
That's still not a strong statement. That's still a beta statement. If you use a gun to kill a young lady, you're a coward. That's not a strong statement. And these people can't say what they want to say. They can't say what they want to say. That they're fed up being victims of sudden violence. They can't say that. So they have to release these beta messages like, if you use a gun to kill an old lady, what are you supposed to use, a knife? What, to use a brick? I mean, what are you talking about? That's a beta statement. But that's all they can say. They're hostage. If they use strong language and say what they want to say, they're going to be called racists. That's the worst thing a glacier glider can be called nowadays. That's equivalent. Being called a racist for a glacier glider is the equivalent of a sun man strangling a nursery full of babies. Both things are equivalent. That's how wide the chasm is in what behavior is acceptable in the standard that each group is held to. Okay? Both groups are held to different standards by society. One group is, that's just them. What can you do? That's what they do. It's like my little daughter. My little daughter, you put her anywhere on a bed or a couch, first thing she's going to do is crawl to the edge. And like literally, you got to catch her. She'll crawl right off. She doesn't care. I'll be like, don't you know that? She doesn't care. She's 10 months, so she don't care. That's how they look at us, like kids. White person, you shouldn't have said that. Well, you phrased it wrong. Yeah, we know what you meant, but your wording was not precise. One word was off, and your high school yearbook? Oh, well, this is problematic. You said XYZ as a 17-year-old, or you dressed up like this as a 16-year-old. We know you're 50, but So this beta message from these people, although it's lousy and pointless, It was all that they could do. This woman was shot down. Like those guys acted like they had beef with this woman. Like this woman, like they fronted her 20 keys and she ran off. And they finally caught up with her. These guys acted like it was a crew of 20 of them and she killed 18 and they was the only two left. And they finally caught up with her. The way they treated this woman. And all her community can say is, if you use a gun to kill an old lady, you're a coward.
In surveillance video now showing Rusich parked in her car at 4:25 this morning, talking to her stepson in another car when two young men get out of a car behind her. In what appears to be a botched carjacking, they begin shooting in Rusich's car as she speeds away. She was apparently hit and then lost control of the car a block south, striking a street pole. The gunmen chased her down and shot her 5 more times before fleeing the scene. All day long, a steady stream of customers, family, and stunned Hegewisch residents have been leaving flowers in front of the deli. A handwritten sign in front reading, "If you use a gun to kill an innocent lady, you're a coward."
She was a staple of this community. Everyone knew her. Everyone loved her. She was a retired streets and sand worker, a 70-year-old woman that was just waiting to go to work. This is not acceptable.
Back live looking at that memorial that's been quickly building in front of the deli. We are told that there is going to be a vigil here with family, friends, and neighbors in Hegewisch. She only lived a block or two from here. Tonight at 7:30. We've also been in touch with the Chicago Police Department. They're saying that at this point they have no one in custody. Live in Hegewisch, Dane Placco, Fox 32 Chicago.
Okay.
A tear-filled vigil at a Springdale home.
I just want an answer. Who killed my husband, leaving 4 children for me? Who killed my husband?
I'm so sorry. Noelle Njoku has 2 girls, 15 and 13, and twin boys who are 11. He sold cars and drove DoorDash at night to help cover the bills.
This is my family. My father, he came over here and moved back with me, and then my mom moved back with me back to America with me when I was a baby. But I have uncles, just like this man, came over here, worked their fingers to the bone. I'm talking about working on their masters, working 3 jobs, and raising a family, and going to church multiple times a week. Like, I just don't know how they do it when it's so hard in this country, to make it. This nakedly racist place. This story is not uncommon, man. This brother come over here and make it. And a lot of homegrown FBA ADOS do this too. Hard-working folks raising families, man. And one interaction with a son, man, and it's all gone. Executed. It's all gone. And they will kill you for nothing.
He sold cars and drove DoorDash at night to help cover the bills.
Do you know how you're going to care for them without him?
Oh my God, it's by the grace of God.
Noelle and his widow, Noella, have loved each other for nearly 20 years.
And you were a match made in heaven.
I'm telling you.
Police say Njoku was delivering food on Lotsford Vista Road in the prosperous community of Mitchellville at about 12:20 a.m. They found him in his car, shot repeatedly. He died at the hospital.
I know this neighborhood very well, Mitchellville, Maryland. A black enclave. It was, created back in the late 70s and early 80s. And in the early 90s when it really took off. Majority black area, man. All of PG County is majority. It's the wealthiest black county in the country. But murders in PG County have tripled this year. And now they're having murders, carjackings, or DoorDash drivers are getting killed in Mitchellville. Yikes. Yikes. I mean, Mitchellville is these are the black folk that left D.C. early. Got the heck up out of there and moved far away. A lot of them still work in the city, but they left the city in the Rayful Edmonds, Wayne Perry days. Raised their families. They're doing, this stuff is happening out there. Yikes.
Police say Njoku was delivering food on Lotsford Vista Road in the prosperous community of Mitchellville at about 12:20 a.m. They found him in his car, shot repeatedly. He died at the hospital.
I know the DoorDash guy was delivering for my sister, and that was it. I don't know anything else.
The Kaiser home has been in the family for generations. It's up a long driveway in the 3700 block of Lotsford Vista.
Yeah, secluded back here. So for that to happen down there, nothing's ever happened down here. It's crazy.
AAA spokesman John Townsend, who lives nearby, suspects the attack is part of a disturbing surge in violence we have seen during the pandemic.
This is an opportunistic crime, and it can strike anywhere. These drivers are being targeted not only by carjackers and jump-in drivers, but now by people who are robbing them and taking their lives.
Njoku was murdered less than 3 miles from his home.
You want them to come forward.
Yes, to tell us the reason why they took him away from me.
Listen, I don't know what these people thinking, what they're going through, because they're going through a lot of pain. So it must be something about that pain that makes their brains, tell them to say things like that. Who's going to come forward for that? You got to understand, these guys that are doing this stuff, they're the same guys that would shoot into a crowd and kill a little kid and sleep like a baby at night. These are the same guys that a hog spit in your face just as soon as they say hi. These are savage killers. Bad people, man. No one's coming forward. No one even lost any sleep over this. The guys who did this are not tossing and turning at night, like waking up with the cold sweat, like they're not even thinking about this anymore. If this been a few days ago, the only thing they're thinking is they're gonna get caught.
You want them to come forward.
Yes, to tell us the reason why they took him away from me.
I spoke briefly to a man who pulled off here and said he was the victim's brother. He was looking for police, looking for answers. Not clear if he ever got them. In Mitchellville, Bruce LaShan, WUSA 9.